What's going on, guys? I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm snowed in this morning. I don't drive in the snow. I took off work. I value safety over currency, so yeah, I don't drive in the snow. I don't risk it. But I thought since I'm snowed in this morning, I'd spend the morning with you guys and talk about this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie we have coming out. For those of you who don't know, yes, we are being treated to a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie on Netflix next month. I am seeing now some hype being built around this movie, and I'm also seeing a lot of shade being thrown towards it. Personally, me, and I'm not here to be, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing since the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not here to be, oh, fuck, this thing's going to, seriously, we've done this before. I'm not here to be like that either. I don't lean more towards one way or the other. I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know what to think. I have seen the trailer, and I do have expectations, and I do also have standards. I'm not going to settle for the worst or the bare minimum, okay? But I do have reasonable expectations. I'm not expecting, God's gift to the planet. I'm just expecting, there's certain things I'm expecting that I might be a little disappointed with if I don't get. But I want to talk about my stance on the franchise first for just a second. Because for those of you that maybe are seeing this video and don't know where I stand on the franchise, I guess, I hate using this word, but I guess I am what you would consider a Texas Chainsaw Massacre purist. I hate using that word, but for lack of a better term, I'm a Texas Chainsaw purist. I strictly love the first film. I think it's the greatest horror film ever made. Literally followed by The Exorcist and John Carpenter's Halloween. Lots of 70s horrors. But those are all 70s horror films, by the way. I'm a huge 70s horror fan. So, as you can tell. Not as big on the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. But 70s, I eat it up. So, my stance on the franchise, as you know, I love the first movie. The second movie really wasn't my cup of tea. I know it has its fan base. It's just not my cup of tea. It's too goofy for me. It just really didn't sit well with me. It had some good acting performances from Bill Moseley and Dennis Hopper and all them, but really didn't do it for me. Third one, same deal. I just found it really boring. Didn't really find it to be inspired. I just never really was a fan of the third Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Then we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, and I remember after I first watched that film, words escaped me of how awful it is, or it was, and I hated it. I hate it still. I hate The Next Generation. Ugh, fuck me. And then in 2003, we had a remake. But back then, that's when all the big horror movies were being remade. You were getting remakes of Friday and Nightmare and Halloween and Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes, Black Christmas, I Spit on Your Grave. All these horror movies were being remade. And a lot of people really liked that remake. I was not one of those people. Lots of horror fans, though. That seems to be a fan favorite in the franchise. Even my fiance really likes it. I don't get the remake. I don't get why people like it so much. I really don't like the movie. But then we had the beginning, which was the prequel to the remake. I quite liked it, in a way. I didn't love it, but what that movie had versus all the past Texas Chainsaw sequels and the remake, it felt like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie at the least. And kudos to that movie. I enjoy the beginning every once in a while. It feels like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And then in 2012 or 2013? I can't remember. That year brought us Texas Chainsaw 3D. Went into the theater. At that time, I was just excited to be seeing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie in theaters. Walked out of that thing speechless. I didn't talk for the rest of that day. I was in denial about how bad it was. Even though it had 3D attached to the title. And that's usually never a good sign most of the time. I was just in denial. That was supposed to be that was supposed to be the true sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No, get out of here. And then 2017 brought us Leatherface, which was the prequel to the original, and it was okay. It was an okay Southern fried horror movie, but it wasn't a very good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, in my opinion. If you liked it, cool. Good Southern fried horror movie, not a very good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. So, I can't say I hated that movie as much as I would like to say that I hated it. I didn't hate it that much. It was still, I didn't like it though. But this new one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is a sequel to the original film. Okay, interesting. In a way, I think we've done this already. But then I think, where can you go from Texas Chainsaw 3D? Or where can you go from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2? Can't really go anywhere. So maybe making it a sequel to the original was the right call. And I have seen the trailer. There was a couple shots in that trailer I kind of dug. I dug Leatherface at the end holding the mask up in the air. I thought that looked pretty cool. That looked like something that Leatherface would do. I also like the house. It looks a little smaller than the original house, but it looks like they've done a decent job with the house. I give props to them for that. I don't know how it's going to be executed in the film, but it looks pretty accurate. So I definitely have to give it a thumbs up there. But what is it going to be like? Is it going to be just like all the other Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels or the remake? Because there's some things that look like it's going to kind of be like the remake or the other sequels in a way. And I get with modern audiences that you got to have that kind of action or the gore. I understand it because the original had no gore in it. That's what I think made it more scary. What you don't see scares you more. But I get it. We're past those times. I understand that. That's not going to affect how I view the movie. But what the original film did is it built there was this sense of dread throughout the beginning of the movie. When you get the opening monologue and you see the corpse and then you get to meet the kids from there, it's just this dread and this tension just builds and builds and builds throughout the beginning of the movie. And it's done perfectly. And then the execution is done perfectly. When the execution hits, it just feels so gritty. It feels so raw. It feels so grindhousey without there being any gore. So, are we going to get that with this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie? Because that's the kind of stuff that I guess as a Texas Chainsaw purist, it makes me sound pretentious. I'm not trying to sound pretentious. That's the kind of thing when I go into a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, I'm looking for that. That's the style that I'm looking for. And I understand that maybe the whole movie is not going to be like that, and that's fine. But I would like, at least for there to be some tension built throughout the first little bit of the movie, and just have one. I'd be happy with just one scene where it's just it feels raw and gritty and like, oh my god, what did I just stumble into? And there's bones laying everywhere. Like, that would be really cool. Something along those lines to feel stylistically similar to the original film, because that's ultimately what this movie is a sequel to. So you need to have some stylistic similarities there. Now, what I do really like that this trailer does is it keeps the mask a mystery. I really like that. I like the mystery. You don't know, like, you see he has long gray hair, and you see him hold the mask up at the end of the trailer, but you don't know what that's going to look like. I wish that that's what they did with Halloween 2018's trailer back a few years ago, kept Michael's mask a mystery. The marketing said no. And I felt like the Halloween 2018 trailer gave everything away. Still liked the movie. The movie was really good. But I do like that they made the choice with this Texas Chainsaw movie to keep it a mystery. I really like that. Because in the original film, if you remember, you don't really get to see the mask with a lot of clarity. Like, you don't really get to stop and just look what it is that's on his face until he kills Jerry, when he sits in front of the window and he's kind of got like this look of regret on his face. You can see it through the mask, obviously, but yeah, I really like that mystery. And I hope they pull off the look of Leatherface. I hope we don't get another Leatherface that looks like Texas Chainsaw 3D. I thought that looked like garbage, personally. But, yeah, I do like that they're keeping it a mystery. And another question not a question, like, what's the supporting characters going to be? Like, your main protagonist, like, your main final girl, or maybe there's a final guy. I don't know. The trailer doesn't really give it away, and I like that. But what are they going to be like? You know, are they going to be just all unlikable, where you hate every character, like Friday the 13th remake, or characters out of the first Rob Zombie Halloween movie? Like, are they just going to be unlikable, where we just want to see them die? Or are we going to have that one character that we really want to see pull through this, like in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie? I don't remember the name of the girl. Fuck. It's Sally, isn't it? Sally. But, girl that Marilyn Burns plays. Yeah, it's Sally. Like, I grew to like that character throughout the movie, and I wanted to see her pull through this. So I kind of hope we get at least a couple characters we don't want to see die to make it more effective. But a lot of slashers, they like to give you characters that you just hate and despise, and if you had the chance to kill them yourself, you would. For me personally, that's not as effective as to growing to like characters and then watching them die. So, yeah, my question is, what are your characters going to be like? How are they going to be written? And, you know, my expectations are, obviously, I want the characters to be written well, but how am I going to feel if maybe they're not as fleshed out and well written? And, the trailer here, I like that they're not giving anything away, but my biggest question here, and my expectations for this question being answered, are very high, rather. Where has Leatherface been this whole time? Obviously, he was not arrested at the end of the first movie, because he'd be sitting in jail or a mental hospital right now. And what about the rest of the family? Or did they get caught and get arrested and thrown in prison or a mental hospital? You know, what's going on here? Where has Leatherface been? Has he been blending in with society? I don't know if I would buy that, though. That's the thing. I don't believe Leatherface, from that original film, I don't believe Leatherface would be able to function in society or be able to coexist with people like us. I think he would end up going crazy and probably killing somebody, and that would draw a lot of attention from the police, which would result in Leatherface going and sitting in prison. But if they're gonna, they have to explain this well. They have to give us a good explanation as to where he's been. Has he just been hiding in the woods? Like I said, was he blending in society? Did he get a job working somewhere at like the bowling alley? Or, you know, where has he been? You need to explain where he's been. It's not like Michael Myers. The less you know about Michael Myers, the better. The less you know about him, the scarier he is. Leatherface is completely different. You need to give us something that us as an audience can buy. Like, I don't want to watch this and they explain where he's been and I'm like, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I want to be able to sit and think, you know, I buy that. I buy that, really. I buy it. Like I said, I don't want to be sat here, oh my, are you serious? Get out of here. No. That's not gonna help this movie's case any with me. And my final question going into this movie, as far as my expectations go, is this going to be a film where what we don't see scares us more, what we picture in our minds what Leatherface is doing to somebody behind that metal door that he likes to slam an awful lot? Is it going to be more like that in terms of being stylistically similar to the original film? Or is this going to be blood, guts, and gore? What I want is it to be stylistically similar to the first film. What I'm about 99.99% sure that I'm going to get is blood, guts, and gore. And you know what? I'm not going to be upset. I get it. I get that this is not the 1970s anymore. Modern audiences want to see blood, guts, and gore. I get it, and I'm perfectly fine with it. If we see Leatherface pick somebody up with their chainsaw and just, oh my god, or we see him take a meat cleaver and just bury it into somebody's fucking face just over and over, guts flying everywhere, dripping from the ceiling, all over the wall, I'm not gonna be upset. I even get a kick out of blood, guts, and gore every now and then, but I would personally like it to be more stylistically similar to the first film than to see the blood, guts, and gore. But that's just me. I'm not going to be upset over the blood, guts, and gore. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up here. What do you guys expect from this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie? A lot of people are not very thrilled that it's going straight to Netflix. People are counting that as a red flag. I don't really see it as a red flag, personally. But really, in all reality, ultimately, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to watch this movie and just have a good time with it. I'd like to be able to watch it and think, oh, I really like this shot. I like how this kind of harkens back to the original. I like the dread. I like the atmosphere. I like that shot. I like that. I like this shot. I like that shot. I like what they did here. I'd like to be able to just have a good time with it. And once those end credits start rolling, I'd like to be able to shut my TV off and think, you know what? That was okay. That was okay. I enjoyed it. Hats off to them. Wasn't as good as the original, but it was alright. I had a good time with it. That's really what, at the end of the day, what I want to be feeling at the end of this movie. But what do you guys hope for at the end of this movie? Are you guys going in with high expectations or no expectations? You know, leave it down in the comments. Let me know how you feel. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.